The French fry is actually not French. This was first introduced by Belgium and is considered to be the #1 place that consumes French fries. And this is found on a website wonderopolis.org. Even though French fries aren't French, the French are widely known for the wonderful cuisine. The reason I chose to do French cuisine is because I find the subject really interesting and it always has been a dream of mine to go to France. First, I'll tell you about some of the history behind the food of the French, and then I'll talk about some of the food they have, and lastly, I'll tell you about its love of wine and how they pair it with their meals. To get a better idea of the food in France, here's a little history behind it. The legend of French cuisine starts with Catherine de Medicis' cooks. In the 2006 encyclopedia by Philip and Mary Hyman, one theory that is mentioned is that Catherine was to marry King Henry II, and with her she brought her cooks from Italy. From there, the cooks taught the people, and they twisted their skills into what is known as France's cuisine. But as far as anyone knows, this is just that, a legend. There is technically no proof that confirms this to be true. As the authors continue writing, they touch on another theory that could have been a possibility for the food's beginning. Philip and Mary Hyman also include this theory in their encyclopedia, this being that it was introduced by Le Chevalier de Jaucourt, and that this cuisine emerged from the Romans. These skills brought from the Romans continue to grow better and more decadent as time went on. Even though we aren't 100% sure where this all began, the French cuisine has truly made its mark on its culture and has become a wide-known delicacy in this area. There are many regulations when it comes to the type of food used and how it is used. Philip and Mary also include that the French have many ways of cooking their food. Some of these include not marinating any meats and having shorter menus at restaurants so that more attention is given to each plate. A few other examples of this are to be more creative with their food, to not go too heavy on any sauces, and that it is ultimately better to undercook the food than to overcook it. These same principles can still be found in restaurants, but as time goes on, a lot of things seem to change. The 2006 encyclopedia includes that when certain meals were first being created, these were only seen in certain areas in France, but as time went on and the skills of the cooks advanced, these original meals became a traditional family meal, leaving new meals and ideas to be created by new cooks that came along and then evolved into the art that it is today. The food is very important in this culture, but the other element to any French cuisine is the wine. In the French culture, the food is always paired with some kind of wine, whether it is red or white, depends on the type of food you are having. There are some rules that you have to abide by when drinking wine with your meal. Mary and Philip Hyman described this in their 2006 encyclopedia. They say white with fish, red with meat. White before red, serves wines in ascending order, the best wine last. Drink wines of a region with foods from that region. Drink reds at room temperature and whites chilled. With every rule, there is usually an exception, and even with these rules come some exceptions. In the 2006 encyclopedia, it gives this example. Some cultures have access to more white wine over red, and so more of their meals are served with white and vice versa. The ultimate goal that serving wine with dinner is to enhance the flavors that the food has, which is why some of these have the occasional exception. The food and wine are two things that make up a big part of France's culture. First, I told you a little bit about the food's history and where it may have come from. Second, I told you about how they create the food. And finally, I told you about the wine that they pair with their food. France is a place that I have learned to be proud of their food, and I truly hope that one day I will get to visit this place for myself. Thank you.